This story didn't scream for attention. But signs were always there, you just need to look closer. This is Hidden Witness. Imagine you're 8 years old, playing in your backyard on a quiet summer evening. The sun is melting into the horizon, crickets are just starting their nightly chorus. And then you see something moving. Not a cat, not a rabbit, but a tiny human-shaped figure, no taller than your knee, wearing a pointed red hat, staring right at you. You blink, and it vanishes into the bushes. Most kids would laugh it off. I didn't, because, over the next few weeks, I learned that these creatures weren't just real, they were watching me. I grew up in a small countryside town where everyone knew everyone. Our house sat at the edge of a wooded area. My parents often let me play outside alone, believing nothing bad could ever happen in a place so quiet. That summer of '94, the air was heavy with the scent of wildflowers, and the forest behind our house felt like a magical playground. I was a curious kid. I loved catching fireflies and making little forts out of sticks. My mum used to joke I'd disappear into the woods if they didn't watch me closely. But nothing in my short life prepared me for what I was about to see. One evening, I was arranging sticks into a little fence for my fort when I heard a rustling sound. I turned and froze. Standing there, maybe 15 feet away, was a small figure. It looked human, but impossibly tiny. The head was slightly too big for the body. The eyes glistened unnaturally. And on its head sat a bright red cone-shaped hat. Its clothes looked old-fashioned, almost like something out of a fairy tale book. It didn't move. It just stared at me, breathing slowly, almost curiously. My first instinct wasn't fear, it was confusion. I thought maybe it was a toy someone had left, but then it blinked, and in one sudden, quick movement, it darted into the trees. The next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I even told my parents, but they just laughed and said I probably saw a squirrel. But then it happened again. This time, I saw 2 of them. They stood side by side in the shadows of the tree line. And they weren't smiling. In fact, their faces were stiff, almost mask-like. One of them lifted its hand and pointed directly at me. I ran inside, slamming the screen door behind me. For the first time, I felt it, the heavy, crawling sensation of being watched. Weeks passed, and the sightings became more frequent. Then one night, I woke to the sound of scratching. It was coming from my bedroom window. My room was on the first floor, facing the forest. My heart pounded as I slowly pulled back the curtain. 2 tiny faces stared back at me from the other side of the glass. They didn't move, just stood there in the moonlight, their eyes reflecting a pale, silvery light. When I told my grandmother what I saw, she didn't laugh. She sat me down and said in a low voice, "In our family, we know about them. We call them the little ones. You must never talk to them. Never accept anything they give you, and never, ever follow them." She told me stories of people in the old country who claimed gnomes would lure children into the woods, and those children were never seen again. I thought she was trying to scare me, but deep down, I believed her. A few days later, I found something in the grass near my fort, a tiny, carved wooden horse. It was beautiful, with intricate patterns burned into its sides. I knew instantly. It wasn't from any human I knew. I wanted to take it, but Grandma's warning rang in my head. I left it there. That night, I looked outside and saw them again. One of them was holding the little horse and smiling. One evening, just before dark, I saw movement in the yard. Without thinking, I followed it. My little legs carried me deep into the woods, past where I had ever gone before. The trees grew thicker, the air colder. I could hear faint giggling ahead of me. Then I saw them, 5 or 6 gnomes, standing in a circle around something on the ground. When they noticed me, they scattered in all directions, except one. The tallest stepped toward me, tilting its head in a slow, unnatural way. I ran, branches whipped my face, my lungs burned, and I didn't stop until I saw the warm glow of our porch light. After that night, my parents kept me inside after sunset. But 1 month later, I woke to find something on my windowsill, that same wooden horse, but now it was split in two. I never saw them again. But even now, as an adult, I still dream of tiny shadows moving at the edge of the woods. And I always wake up feeling like I've been watched. Thanks for watching. If you saw what others missed, join the Hidden Witness. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the shadows.